Most of you probably don't remember the 5th of November, but you might after today. Let's go on an adventure. Hello and welcome to Capricious Conversations. Thank you for joining me today on this beautiful, wonderful 5th of November. Today we are going to go on an adventure through holidays that most Americans don't know about, most Americans don't celebrate. Maybe some of them you'll want to celebrate after today because most of them are pretty awesome. The first one that we are going to talk about, because today is the 5th of November, is Guy Fawkes Day, or Guy Fawkes Night, otherwise known as Bonfire Night in some parts. Guy Fawkes was a revolutionary at the time in 1605, and he and his group of cronies had decided that they were going to blow up the House of Lords, kill the king, kill most of the ruling class at the time, and kind of overthrow the government and basically a coup, and kind of start their own thing. It was not successful, which is why you don't know about it in your history books. Guy Fawkes was arrested guarding the gunpowder under the House of Lords before they were able to detonate the explosion. In celebration for the king being saved, a lot of people across England and across the British Empire started bonfires, and were just celebrating that this plot was thwarted. And a few months later, there came an edict that on the 5th of November, they would celebrate the foiling of this plot. And so there's, the poem, Remember, remember the 5th of November, the gunpowder treason and plot. I see no reason that gunpowder treason should ever be forgot. And so still to this day, people celebrate Bonfire Night or Guy Fawkes Night. The masks from V for Vendetta, those were Guy Fawkes masks. Just a fun little bit of trivia for you there. But yeah, he was not successful, and so everybody celebrates the fact that their king is still alive, and it's a pretty awesome festival. There's of course, with any festival and party, there's food and drinks and music and a bonfire. And for you in America, if you want to get on the bandwagon and celebrate too, perfect time for s'mores. Just saying. Another one that we do not celebrate that is kind of more of an English thing, which I really think we should bring back, is Boxing Day. Boxing Day happens the day after Christmas, or sometimes 2 days after Christmas. And it began as a time when the lords and ladies, or just the ruling people of the house, would give gifts to their servants and would recognize their servants' help or people who were lower class than them. And so still today, Boxing Day is an official holiday, and a lot of people celebrate it by helping out with those who are less fortunate. So people will volunteer at soup kitchens, they'll volunteer in homeless shelters, they'll give out blankets, they'll do all sorts of stuff for Boxing Day to celebrate, people who are maybe less fortunate than you. You've just had this awesome Christmas, maybe gotten a ton of presents. Take some time to give back. I think we should all be celebrating Boxing Day. It's pretty awesome. Some other ones, a lot of these are they're from a bunch of different countries, and most Americans don't know about them. One that I think is pretty awesome, and that I think we should all remember, is August 1st is the Powstanie Warszawskie, which translates to the Warsaw Rising. The Warsaw Rising happened a few months after the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising, which is when the Jews rose up against the Germans to, do all they could to throw off the oppression. Of course, the Ghetto Uprising resulted in a lot of the destruction of the ghetto, but at that time, those people were able to go out and fight for what they believed in and die with dignity because they were doing something. And so the Powstanie Warszawskie came a few months later, and all of Poland kind of got on that bandwagon and was like, we've had it, we're done. It was part of it was the kickoff of a nationwide operation called Operation Tempest. The Soviets were supposed to come and help. Long story short, they didn't actually, and ended up kind of taking over Poland, and it was really kind of messy. But the Powstanie Warszawskie, the Polish civilians got together, and at 5 o'clock in the afternoon on August 1st, they started fighting the Germans, and they were going to take back their city or die trying. Sadly, most of them died trying. In the 63 days that the rising lasted, 200,000 people died. and 700,000 were displaced from this city. Warsaw was left in total ruins. Like, I mean, honestly, there wasn't hardly a building that was not damaged or destroyed completely during the Rising. And the awesome thing about this festival is what it represents as far as Poland coming back. So, I mean, you go there now, Warsaw is a vibrant city of 3 million people. It's growing. It's like, you know, this metropolitan area, and it's so full of culture, so full of history, and so full of people and life. And to think, you know, when you see the pictures of what Warsaw was versus what it is now, it's stunning. It's so stunning. And so it's kind of a testament to the Polish spirit. So if you have Polish American friends, or if you are Polish American, I strongly suggest celebrating that holiday. In Poland on that holiday, they blow the sirens at 5 o'clock and everybody stands still for a minute. They don't do anything. They don't move at all. They just stand still. And then, you know, there's remembrance celebrations. So you should consider adding that to your repertoire of holidays. One that I particularly enjoy celebrating, especially with my Indian friends, is the festival of Holi, which is the color festival, or it's also the festival of brotherly love. And you may have heard about it. You've probably seen some people sort of celebrating it with like color runs and things like that, which is a fun take on it. But Holi is just a day where everybody comes out and celebrates this massive festival with colored powder and water fights. And it's called the Festival of Brotherly Love, or the Festival of Sharing Love, because it's a time when all of the casts kind of celebrate together. And, you know, everybody's fair game. Anybody who's walking by, pelt them in the face with colored powder, you know, pelt them with water balloons or water guns. And it's just a time where, like, almost the whole of India celebrates at the same time. And it's really pretty cool. And it's lots of fun. And colored powder, it stains a little bit, but it's a lot of fun. The funniest time that when I was celebrating Holi, I got pelted with a bunch of red powder, and it sort of stained, and I looked like I'd been in a really nasty fight for a little while. But, you know, if you have different colors, like the blues and the purples, it's not so bad. I'm Scottish, which I've told you before, and Scotland has some pretty fun festivals that we like to celebrate. Usually in Scottish festivals we end up eating something questionable like haggis or something, which we do on this night, which is Burns Night, which is not Bonfire Night. I know probably all of you are thinking, oh, we already talked about Bonfire Night. It is not Bonfire Night. Sometimes there are bonfires. But it's really just a night to get together and celebrate the writings of Robert Burns, who was a Scottish poet. He wrote Auld Lang Syne, so most of you know that song. And, you know, us being Scottish, we get together, we read Burns, we eat haggis, and then we drink some whiskey. And we just have a right good time. Find yourself some Scottish American friends and celebrate Burns Night, because you will not be sorry you did. And one of the last ones, another Scottish festival, although it's kind of not a Scottish festival, it's kind of a Viking festival, is Upelia. This one sounds so much fun. I don't know, though, how you can necessarily do it in America. I bet we could find a way, though. I bet you. Upelia takes a lot of the Scottish traditions of, you know, we're kind of loud. We like to throw things. We like to set things on fire. And this festival kind of combines all of that together. It's celebrated on the island of Shetland, and what happens is people build a Viking boat and they light their torches on fire and they stroll through the streets singing Viking songs and proclaiming, you know, their allegiance to Vikinghood and, you know, to each other as Vikings. And then after they get to the end of the parade, they burn the boat to the ground, because nothing says celebration like lighting a boat on fire. That sounds like a whole lot of fun. Again, I'm not really sure how we could do it in America, but I bet you we could find a way. In Colorado, it might be a little bit harder, though. We're kind of a desert state, so it's not really advisable to set things on fire. But if you have any ideas of how to celebrate Upelia, or if you want to get a group together to celebrate any of these festivals, leave a comment below and let's get a conversation started. Or if you know of any other super fun holidays that most Americans don't celebrate but you think we should, leave us a comment. Thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing, and thank you for sharing this video with all your friends. Let's go on an adventure.